You don't fail because of the world. You fail because of the silent assassin inside your mind. That assassin waits in the shadows, striking not with swords, but with whispers. Not today, not yet. You're not ready. Who are you to try?
And that's why so many intelligent, capable people never reach their potential. It's not the boss, it's not the market, it's not your partner, it's the subtle patterns of self sabotage, the invisible ways you trip yourself up.
It comes disguised as delay, as perfectionism, as avoidance. You call it procrastination, but it is really fear dressed in casual clothes. You call it being realistic, but it is really doubt wearing a mask.
That's right. And let me give a few examples. Because I want to see if any of these strike a chord, if they sound a little familiar. Okay. You finally commit to going to the gym, but forget your shoes 3 days in a row.
Yep, that's true.
You land an opportunity at work, but talk yourself out of speaking up in the meeting, even though you've been practicing it in your mind before you show up there.
Yeah, I've seen that happen. Yeah, definitely.
You set a goal to save money, and then you find yourself online shopping to reward yourself.
Yeah. You accidentally on your way home pass by Bunnings or JB Hi-Fi.
Dangerous places, very dangerous
Mm.
places. You tell yourself you'll start a side business when the timing is right, but the timing never comes. These aren't accidents, they're sabotage patterns. And if you don't name them, they'll ruin your life.
Yep. Tonight we will name them. We will expose the saboteur at all its disguises. And more importantly, we will show you how to turn that saboteur into your servant. Because only when the inner assassin is mastered can the outer battles be won.
Exactly.
In Jungian psychology, the shadow is everything you repressed: your anger, your shame, your fear of rejection. You bury it, but it never dies, it never goes away. It emerges in behavior you cannot explain. You forget the meeting. You oversleep on the day of opportunity. You pick fights with those who you love. The shadow sabotages not because it hates you, but because it is unintegrated. It is like a wild horse, untamed power, dragging you where you do not want to go. Imagine a warrior on the battlefield, sword in hand, but his shield is tied to his feet. Every move he makes, he stumbles, not because of the enemy has struck him, but because he bound himself in chains.
And here's what's happening in the brain: your survival system, the amygdala, detects potential threat, change, growth, risk. They all trigger the system, and your brain thinks, better stay safe. So instead of moving forward, you procrastinate, distract, or retreat. That's not laziness. It's your brain running an outdated survival program.
That is so true. Hey, we talk about the evolution of humanity, right? We talk about evolution and all that stuff. We talk about that our brains and our bodies are outdated and all that stuff. Well, Yes and no. What we actually do not talk about is we have evolved based on survival instincts, right? And it's not because we're outdated, but because the roots of our development is from survival. And it's really important to know that.
That's exactly right. It's we are programmed to survive, essentially. Um, when you look at our sort of base nature, the rest of it is kind of noise. What we're actually meant to do is survive. But examples of common loops, the fear of failure, which leads to procrastination, the fear of success, which leads to playing small, fear of rejection, which leads to staying silent, and perfectionism, never finishing anything. But here's the good news. The brain is plastic. Neuroplasticity means it changes with experience. Just because you've run a sabotage loop for 10 years doesn't mean you're stuck with it. I had this conversation with a lot of people in my therapy sessions. I quite often get told, oh, but I've been doing this for 30 years.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you've been doing it for 2 years, or 2 days,
Mm.
or 30 years. It's just a pattern. And with repetition, awareness, and reframing, you literally carve new neural pathways. So in tactical neurolinguistics, we say the map is not the territory. The map is your internal model of the world. It's how you interpret events. The territory is reality itself, but your map is full of distortions, deletions, and generalizations. Here's how sabotage plays out. The reality, you missed a deadline. That's all. The map, I'm useless, I'll never succeed. The result, you give up. Now, another person in the same reality, the map. Okay, I missed the deadline. What system can I set up to stop that happening again? And the result is growth. It's not the territory that holds you back, it's the map you're using. And the powerful truth is you can redraw your map.
It's remember the pre-internet days. This is the up to the 90s. I remember there was a map that you had to buy. Is it UBD or you is it
There was a Gregory's.
oh Gregory's not
There was a
UBD.
Gregory's and
Yeah,
there was a
yeah.
UBD.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it. That's it. And I remember if you have a you go to someone's car and then you find one of those and it's 7 years old, right? You crack a joke like, mate, what's going on? Your map is outdated, right? And the common excuse I hear, yeah, I need to get one. Yeah, I get a new one. Even that is procrastination, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
just find that relation. And then you buy a new one, right? And it's like, cool. It's brand new. You can't wait to throw away the old one and use the new one.
Yeah.
If we can do that with our cars, why can't we do this now? And remember when GPS maps started happening?
Yeah.
You buy the GPS, the machine, and every year or two, the upsell is a brand new map.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays that doesn't really matter because we now have Google Maps. But even with Google Maps, You zoom into that Google map and you find old buildings that are not there anymore. Yeah, or there are new roads that was being reconstructed. And you go, oh man, that's annoying, or that's disappointing, right?
Mm.
So it is really important to have a fresh map, like the latest map, right?
Right.
And when you redraw the map, the whole journey changes, doesn't it? Mm. The mountain that once seemed impossible becomes a staircase. The desert that once seemed endless becomes a training ground. Reality itself bends, not because the world changed, but because you did. I mean, this is how easy is reality, right? If you're in a Google map, you're trying to get somewhere and your course changes, you're literally in a different world now, in a different place. That's how a map can change your reality very easily, right?
That's exactly right. And it is actually that simple. It is actually as simple as just updating your map to the world that you're currently living in, to what will suit you, to what will move you forward now. So here's how you catch it. There's three practical detection tools here. So number one, language cues.
That's a culprit.
Absolutely. Listen for always or never.
Like those words, always and never. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing's always, nothing's never. Terms like I always fail, I never get it right.
Mm.
That's your saboteur talking. That's all it is. That's the saboteur. Emotional cues. Notice resistance, dread, or sudden exhaustion when you're about to do something important. That's not tiredness, it's sabotage. And behavioral cues. Patterns of delay, distraction, conflict, especially repeating across different areas of your life. And this is really important. If the same delay or distraction or conflict keeps repeating across these different areas of your life, there's a blockage.
Like footprints in the sand, the saboteur leaves traces. Hey,
Yeah.
your task is to track it, name it, and face it. For once named, its power begins to fade.
Yeah. And so what do you do about this? So let's go through a couple of practical things. You can use the catch, challenge, change method. Let's go a little bit deeper into that, okay? Catch. Journal every time you notice sabotage. Like for an example, I was about to send the proposal, but I told myself I'd do it later. Then challenge. Ask, is that actually fact or is it just fear? Is this protection or reality? And change. Rewrite the narrative. An example from I'll do it later to I take the first step right now. Now repeat this daily. Every entry you make weakens the old wiring and strengthens the new one.
To master the saboteur, you must outwit him with ritual and strategy. Design your environment. Remove temptation, reduce the friction. Yeah. The saboteur thrives on clutter. Let's talk about micro commitments. Begin with the smallest step. Write one sentence. Do one push up. Small victories gather momentum. Accountability rituals now. Here we go. Speak your commitment aloud to another. The saboteur loves secrecy. Truth dissolves its grip.
The most important thing there, I think, is the micro commitments.
Yep.
All right. And I had a conversation with someone today, and we were talking about this particular person wanted to get out and do more exercise. It was
Hmm.
one of the things that they needed to move themselves forward.
Yep.
But they had this idea in their mind, and they'd done no exercise for ages, for a long time.
Yep.
And they had this idea in their mind of it was kind of very black or white thinking. It was like either not doing exercise or training for a marathon. And there was kind of nothing in between.
Yep.
Um, I sort of dialed things back a bit and said, look, you're coming from a place of having achieved nothing. So how about some micro commitments? How about rather than making sure you get in the gym every day and hammer yourself initially or running 10Ks every day, why don't you just do a few small things? At least get out and start. So today, after you leave, get home and take a 20-minute walk. That's at least a step in the right direction. Is it where you want to be long term? No, but it is a step. And neuroscientifically, each time you override the sabotage impulse, you're building new wiring. Habits become automatic through repetition. Your brain literally makes the sabotage path weaker and the success path stronger.
Yeah, totally agree. When I was teaching martial arts, including when I was learning before black belt, I remember a point where a lot of people were getting injured, right? I had a student who keeps on going, I keep on getting injured, right? And I'm going, well, take it easy. That's what I said, right? Just take it easy. It's like, yeah, but I want to give my 101%,
You got
you
to
know?
yeah, you got to give 10, then 20, then 30,
Yeah,
then 40,
correct.
then 50 first.
That's it. And I contemplated on that. Hey, because am I doing it the same thing? Am I doing the same mistakes? Right. And I thought about it. Yes, I was. So with these students, they will not show up for a while and then go back to Aikido. And because he missed training and we are here and he missed training, so we're here in the level of training and he's trying to get back. His 101% is to catch up immediately. Right. And the results, injured or tired or next day, it didn't work. Right.
Yeah.
Similarly, in during New Year's, right? When people go, I'm going to go to the gym. And because the gym is too crowded at certain times, I'm going to go at 4 a.m. I mean, can you set yourself up for failure? Even
Yeah.
worse than that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, interrupt your daily pattern and be up at 4 a.m. every
Yeah,
day.
that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Have you ever woke up at 4 a.m. before? No. How far is the gym? Oh, only 20 minutes. So you need to wake up at 3:30 in the morning then
Exactly,
to
exactly.
get there. So that is that silent saboteur that we were talking about, right? And it's there all the time, right? It doesn't want to change. It doesn't want the new person to be stronger than itself, the old person. Yeah. It's there all the time. And when you notice that you're always getting injured, your old self is literally injuring you. So it won't move forward. I mean, think about that for a minute.
Mm.
How serious is that? Right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, look, you can think of your brain a bit like it's a forest.
Yeah.
You know, every thought is a pathway. The sabotage path is well worn, easy to walk, because you've used it for years. The success path is overgrown. It's hard to see. But each time you choose differently, you walk the new path, you clear it. Each time the old sabotage path grows over and the success path becomes the highway.
And so reality itself shifts. The inner map redraws itself, and the once impossible becomes inevitable, right? This is the miracle of plasticity, isn't it? The mind is not stone, it is clay.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And this whole plasticity of the mind is something that I really wish more people had an understanding of. Just because you run a pattern today does not mean you run it tomorrow.
The biggest evidence of neuroplasticity is, hey, Jono, do you remember the 14th of April, 1993?
Nope.
There you go. Yeah. We remember emotional things when we're emotional. We also remember novelties. Yeah, like when something's new, right? And having said that, we will, if you did the same thing every day for 300 days out of 365, you will only remember one memory of that, really, because you
Right.
did the same thing for 300 days. So you only
Right.
got one memory in that one. So you only really have, if you did 65 days of there's novelty, some little new quirky on it, that means you will remember 65 days. And if you really want to explore and have a really beautiful, fruitful life, do a lot of new things because now you have more memories, isn't it? When the inner saboteur becomes your ally, no enemy outside can defeat you. For in truth, the saboteur is the wounded child, the fearful servant, the forgotten teacher. And once you embrace it, its claws turn into wings.
That's right. That's exactly right. So here's your challenge for the next 14 days. Run the catch, challenge, change method daily. Track your sabotage. Reframe your map and take one action that rewires your path. Because you don't have to live by yesterday's wiring. You can design tomorrow's reality today. And this is, again, I'll repeat it. It's such an important thing that I explain to people. Just because you run a behavioral pattern today does not mean you run it tomorrow. Just because you find yourself stressed and in flight today, you can change that. You don't have to run it tomorrow.
I think that comes from that old saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, it ties in with it as well. That's a
Mm,
really good point.
mm,
I actually had a session today,
yep.
um, and we were discussing. There were some techniques about pausing, resetting, and doing some breath technique every few hours to just bring yourself down, get yourself out of flight. And it was our second session, and I said, "So how you been going with the techniques we discussed last time?" "Oh, I haven't had time to do them."
Mm.
And so I kind of closed my folder at that point. And said, "Look, um, the whole point here is the fact that the pattern you currently run, which involves flight and no pausing, is not working for you. So it needs to change. And the way to start changing it is by actually engaging in these pauses, allowing yourself to change."
Mm,
And it's okay if it feels uncomfortable at first because it's different. But just acknowledging that the current pattern isn't working, and here is another option.
mm. And that's the thing, that concept that you just said, they probably go, oh, let's bring it back to, but it's not broken. But it
Yeah,
is.
it is. And the
But it
conversation
is.
was, it is. And the conversation was, oh, but my job doesn't allow that.
Mm,
I said, well, actually, your job does allow that. It's you that's not allowing it.
mm.
Anyway, so Crom, what would you like to say to finish off today's episode?
There is a war every man must fight. Every human must fight. And it is not out there. It is not against the market, the government, the boss, or the critics who laugh. No, 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 no. The true war is here within. Against the assassins that whispers, stay small, stay silent, stay safe. Safe is not bad, right? But if you listen to that, stay safe all the time, you will never leave your cot as a baby. Yeah. And here is the truth. The assassin is not your enemy. It is your unclaimed self. The parts of you abandoned. The child who was told he wasn't good enough. The dreams you buried because the world said they are impossible. You call it procrastination. You call it perfectionism. But I will tell you plainly, it is the shadow. And until you face it, you will trip every threshold. But the moment you turn, the moment you look into that dark mirror and whisper, I see you, I hear you, and I will not obey you, everything changes from there. Because the shadow is not here to destroy you, it is here to shape you, to show you where you are unfree or not free, to demand that you grow strong enough to walk free. It's like that old saying that we keep on saying, um, don't wish the load to be lighter, right? Work on it daily so you become stronger. So you can carry it easily anytime. Fear becomes fire. Doubt becomes fuel. The chains become wings. The very force that once betrayed you becomes the ally that carries you forward. This is the secret of the sages, the warriors, the mystics. And your shadow is not your downfall, it is your doorway. The assassin becomes the teacher, the saboteur becomes the guide. So when you hear the whisper that says you cannot, do not run, smile, because now you know who speaks. And instead of obeying, you answer back. Watch me. Understand this. The world does not rise when you wait for permission. The world rises when you lead yourself. Your map of reality is not fixed, it can be redrawn. Your brain is not stone, it is clay, alive, ready to be shaped. Your destiny is not a prison, it is a path you carve with every thought, every word, every act of courage. No matter what chains you have carried, no matter how many times you have stumbled, no matter how many battles you have lost, the assassin was never your enemy. He was your initiation. And when you claim him, when you master him, you will find there is no greater power than the man who no longer betrays himself. So, for when the assassin becomes the ally, no enemy outside can ever defeat you.
If you found this episode useful and helpful, please like and subscribe. So whenever we release a new episode, you're notified straight away.
And remember to click that notification bell, guys. We will really appreciate it.
Absolutely. This is Jono.
And this is Crom. Until next time, bye for now.
Thanks, everyone. See you next week. Bye-bye.